guys. I'm Kenya Brown, and this is Black Health 365. And we are talking to one of my favorite doctors, Dr. Gregory Hall. It's holiday time approaching, and diabetes, sometimes called sugar diabetes, affects millions of people all over the world and can be very serious if not cared for. If it's not managed, it can lead to big health problems. Many people don't know how important it is to learn about diabetes and take steps to stay healthy, especially during holidays when it's easy to eat too much sugar, starches, and unhealthy food. In this talk, we'll learn what diabetes is, how to spot the risks, and ways to prevent it. We'll also share why it's so important to find and treat diabetes early. Joining us today, as I said, is one of my favorite doctors, Dr. Greg Hall, an internal medicine physician at University Hospitals, who'll talk about how to enjoy holiday meals and traditions while making healthy choices to feel your best. How you doing, Dr. Hall?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm trying to stay away from eating too much over the holidays, like we're talking about, because, diabetes is real. Everybody has different diet requirements and everything. But tell us, we'll back it all the way up for those who don't know. What is diabetes and why is it sometimes called the silent sickness?
Well, diabetes is it's been around a long time, right? People used to say that, and not just sugar diabetes, they said they had sugar, right?
Yes.
And it's been around a long time, and a lot of that kind of came from you have too much glucose, which is what sugar is, circulating in your system, and so that can cause all kinds of problems. And so normally when we eat, if we don't have diabetes and we eat sugar, we eat syrup, we eat a donut or something, our body finds a way to store that sugar either in the form of fat or to absorb it and help us to burn it, right? And so as we get older, it gets harder for us to process that sugar. And so some of it goes to fat, some of it just keeps circulating. And that circulating sugar is not good for you. And so insulin, people have heard of insulin. That's what sometimes people will inject in themselves. Insulin causes your muscles to absorb glucose. It causes your organs to absorb the glucose to keep it from circulating. So every time your body sees glucose, it releases insulin from your pancreas and the glucose gets absorbed. So people with diabetes have a problem with that process. And so it runs in families. It's sometimes your body's just overwhelmed with the amount of sugar. And so we see people with diabetes, a lot more people the bigger they are. And then who's got on average the biggest average weight? African American women, African American men. We're usually bigger, and that puts us at increased risk for diabetes.
That's because Big Mama can cook really well, and those muffins are really hard to pass up. So,
Well,
and
we've inherited a lot of bad things from Big
yeah,
Mama. Big Mama is not always our friend. We need to let some of that stuff Big Mama did go.
we love Big Mama, but some of that stuff we got to change. I do agree. Now, what are some signs and risks that someone might have diabetes or could develop it?
Yeah, well, it's a telltale. It's actually pretty easy to diagnose. When someone comes in, I'm thirsty, I can't stop drinking water, pop, Kool-Aid, whatever. I'm drinking, 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 and I'm peeing, 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 and I can't accomplish anything for running to the bathroom. If you see someone's drinking all the time, liquid, not just alcohol, but drinking, drinking, and urinating, peeing,
Mhm.
peeing, peeing, I'm 9 out of 10 of those people have diabetes because their body doesn't know how to process it. And so what happens is there's a lot of glucose in that urine, right? And so, I mean, it's crazy, but I would have people come over and, older men who go to the bathroom and then they drip, drip, drip. And then that dripping turns into a sticky, shiny thing on the bathroom floor. That's because it's sugar in there, right? And so I could diagnose some of my guests with diabetes based on what they leave in front of the toilet, right?
Right.
Because it's sticky and it turns into like a syrupy like a thing, right? And so, but that's what's happening. You're urinating out a lot of that sugar because your body can't process it, and your body is trying to secondarily get rid of that glucose by having you pee it out. And then you're peeing out, so you're thirsty. So you're drinking water, you're drinking, and a lot of people don't know to drink water, so they're they're drinking pop and they're drinking things that are adding more sugar to their system. And it's just a vicious cycle. And so those people are really easy. Now there's other people that say my wounds aren't healing. I cut myself. I hit my shin last month and it's still not healing. Or
Right.
something happens in my foot and it's still not healing. So slow healing is associated with having diabetes, more smoldering. But most people we find it's because they come in with those complaints. And then we also find some people just screening them. When people come in for their annual visit, which everyone should do, we just screen for diabetes. Your mother, your father, your brothers have diabetes, then you're at increased risk. And we have a blood test called the hemoglobin A1C that we can use to see if you're at increased risk for diabetes as well.
And that tired feeling too. You just want to lay down all the time. You have no energy. Yeah, all of that
Because your
stuff.
system is strained with this incredible amount of glucose that it's never seen before. And so you don't have the energy to do something and you lose muscle mass. So to big people with diabetes, and now all of a sudden I'm losing weight. I'm eating all the time, I'm drinking all the time, I'm peeing all the time, and I'm losing weight. That's because you're losing protein, you're losing muscle mass now too. And so people right before I diagnosed, they say, I lost 20 pounds and I don't even understand, what's going on. That's also could be a sign of diabetes really out of control.
Wow. Yeah, you got to look at those warning signs. Listen, guys, age happens to everybody. Our bodies change all the time. So, all the things that you used to get away with back in the day, you might not be able to get away with them today. All right. So, you want to make sure you get screened and checked out. Now, during the holidays, many people eat lots of sweets and big meals. What are some easy tips to enjoy holiday food without hurting your health?
Well, I mean, like everything, we talk about all things in moderation, right? And so everyone knows what moderation is because if you right, most people know what moderation is. And so, I mean, if I tell people if it's Thanksgiving Day or if it's Christmas Day and you have diabetes and you want a piece of pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie, it's not going to kill you, right? But what's going to kill you is a piece when you're making it and a piece the next day and a piece the day after and all that. And that's not moderation, right?
Right.
So, and that's not acknowledging that you have a problem. And so I think if you're at increased risk, like I am, my father had diabetes, I've got two brothers with diabetes, I have two nephews with diabetes. So I know I'm at increased risk for diabetes. And
Right.
so I can't do that because I don't have it right now today and I don't want it, right? So
Right.
I can't go crazy with the sweets. I can't go crazy with the starches, potatoes and French fries, and all those things put you at increase for diabetes as well. And so you just try to act like you have a risk for diabetes by eating more salad, doing things in moderation, not eating too many cookies. You can sneak one, but don't
Right.
eat the whole box. If people tell me stories about they brought something home and then ate the whole thing that night, that's not good. And the fact that you don't have diabetes, that's still not good, right? It's still not good because that's not moderation. And so I think we want to watch that. If you really want to taste something good that's a liquid, drink something that has taste. But otherwise, if you're thirsty, you should drink water, right? If
Yes.
you're washing down some food, you should be washing that food down with water. Now, I grew up black in Cleveland, right? And we never drank water unless we were just outside playing and we were
True.
drinking it out of a hose. But if we
Right.
were in front of a plate of a table and food, we were not drinking water with that. But that was wrong, right? That's the way my loving mother raised me, but it was wrong, right? You should be drinking water with a meal. If you have a dinner plate, you should have water in front. You should not have Kool-Aid. You should not have a pop. You should not have juice. You should not have that. That's all water. And speaking of juice, people think juice is healthy. Juice is healthy. Juice is not natural,
It's
right?
sugar.
If you want orange juice, eat an orange. You
Yes.
want grape juice, eat some grapes, right?
Yes.
Because juice is not natural. And so juice is not good. Juice has a ton of sugar in it. Sometimes like cranberry juice, they actually add sugar to it. And that is a strain on your body because your body has to separate the water from the juice. So if you
Absolutely.
really want, really think, but I really just love a glass of Coca-Cola sometimes. And I treat myself with a glass of Coca-Cola. Oh man, it's good. It burns on the way down, but then it's over, right? I don't
Yeah.
go crazy drinking a 2 liter thing of Coke. I enjoy it like I want to enjoy it, and then put it aside. And so we need, particularly as African Americans, we know we're raised that way, but it was wrong. It's not natural. It's not the way God made us to consume things, and we should make a point of trying to change that.
Absolutely. And I always tell my family members, pick a poison. You know, you can't be doing all the medication. You can't indulge in all the cakes and the sweets and then turn around and drink a bunch of pop and all that stuff. You can't do all of it. You're overloading your body. You're doing too much. So, moderation, just a little bit, just a little something to, knock that thing off your back, and then go ahead and drink that water. Now, why is it so important to find out if you have diabetes early, and how can people get tested?
Well, the longer you have diabetes and you don't, and it's not treated, the more damage it can do. And so the number one cause in America of blindness is diabetes. The
Hmm.
number one cause of kidney failure overall is diabetes. Now, in African America, the number one cause of kidney failure is hypertension, and diabetes is second, but it still contributes. And so if you don't know, you're injuring your kidneys, you're injuring your eyes in the back, and you could be having problems with, when you get to the point where you see that you have a decrease in your vision, it's done a lot of damage, right? And so that's why if you have diabetes, you should see the eye doctor every year so they can look in the back of your eyes and see if there's any changes, because they can look in and see changes before you look out and see
Yeah.
changes, right?
Yes.
And so every year I send all my patients with diabetes to the eye doctor, and then what neuropathy, right? That's pain, pins and needles in your legs and your feet, or not feeling your feet. People walking around with a tack in the bottom of their foot for 2-3 days because they don't feel the bottom of their feet. People reach in the oven and can pull pans out the oven, right?
That's true.
Barehanded, because they don't feel the heat, right? It's not good, not a good practice, but that neuropathy can cause a lot of problems. You can even have it in your gut, where you eat something and your body doesn't know how to digest it and move it along. And so you get full, your stomach feels queasy. All of that are the consequences of untreated diabetes. So you could ignore it as long as you can, but there's so many things out there, so many medications that we can give you that will bring your blood sugars down without traumatizing your life. Why wouldn't you want to do that? I mean, so many patients say to me, I don't want to be on medicine. Is there something I can do? Medicine is the easiest thing. You just open your mouth and throw it in your mouth and swallow. That's way easy.
Like
Dialysis
you
is
did
hard.
that pie, huh?
Yeah, dialysis is hard. Going 3 times a week and having someone pull the blood out of your body, that's hard, right? But taking a pill once a day, take 3 seconds out of your day and swallow, and watch what you eat to be able to sustain your life and raise your kids and see your grandkids and see your family prosper, and be at those Christmas celebrations. I've got so many people out here that are dreading Christmas because someone has passed in their family and they don't want to do Christmas without them. And so let's not have you be that to somebody else in your family. Let's start addressing your health the way you should.
Absolutely, because health is wealth. And, when you're younger, you don't think that things are going to change, but, you don't want to wait until your family's trying to take away your keys because you shouldn't be driving anymore because you can't see anymore, or things like that. Loss of your freedom, loss of a limb, possibly anything like that. You don't want to get to that point before you decide to get some type of intervention. Now, I want you guys to really share this video, even if it doesn't pertain to you right now. I want you to share this video because I guarantee that somebody needs this information or this backup for your stubborn family members that are not listening to what they should be doing. Now, how can families and friends help someone with diabetes make good choices during holiday celebrations?
Well, here's the thing. People think it's I don't know if they think it's a game or they
Yeah.
think they're helping their family member, but I've had so many people say that so and so will sneak them a piece of pie, or sneak them, a loved one, right, is
Yeah.
sneaking them this. You're an alcoholic and they're sneaking you a drink. You don't smoke and they see you and come on, take a puff. What is
Yes.
that? That is just so sad. And those people, are you, and you, I'm glad you said share, because there's some people, I know these people, right? I know these people.
We see
You
you.
know you have a drinking problem. You ain't drank in 2 years, but Christmas Day you're gonna hand them a drink. That's just the worst thing ever. So number
Right.
one, don't be a bad influence on your family members, right? That don't be that person. That if somebody is not drank, don't give them a drink. If someone stopped smoking, don't give them a cigarette. If somebody has diabetes, don't sneak them a piece of pie. Don't sneak them up some wine. Don't, because you're not helping them. You're hurting them. And so I think that's like the biggest thing. And I don't know, because I'm only Black. I don't know if other people do that or not. But I know it happens in my family. It happens in the Hall family. I
Yes.
know it happens, rather. So try to be, but it doesn't mean. But I'm still saying you can have a slice of pie because it's Christmas Day, right? And then stop, right? Unless you
Right.
can't just have one and stop, right?
Yes.
Obviously, but so no one should have to sneak it, but just know what you're doing and know what your sugar is, know what your hemoglobin A1C is, and so family members need to support them. And however that person with diabetes is eating, you should probably be eating that way too, because if you're related to them, you're at increased risk. So now's the time. If you don't want to have diabetes, you don't want to wake up in the morning and take a pill, then that's why you start eating right. That's why you exercise more. That's why you do things in moderation. Just because you could have diabetes, not have it one day and then have it the next day, and now your life has changed. But if you act like you're at risk now, then you can kind of implement some things that could sustain you for your life.
Yes. And you struck on one of my pet peeves, because as a caregiver, if you have someone and you're not running over to that person's house and taking care of them and making sure they're okay, don't be sneaking them stuff. Don't be taking a 6 pack of pop or Pepsi or different things over there. You are not being helpful. And, when all the things are going wrong, then somebody
Where are
else got
you?
to take care of
Right,
it.
you aren't doing this, right? You aren't cleaning up the front of the toilet. Right.
Right.
So you come over and take care of them. Yeah, stay out the way, right?
Right. So help your family members out this holiday season, guys. Moderation. Make sure you know your numbers. Make sure you get checked out and know what's going on with your health. All right. And you want to enjoy the holidays. That's what it's all about. We want to enjoy our family and friends without having to go to the hospital. Get those checkups scheduled, okay? And we'd like to thank Dr. Hall for joining us today and sharing this valuable information with our audience. To learn more, visit wzakcleveland.com/BH365. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.